figure out a way to knuckle up and, you know, make the playoffs. Simple as that. I didn't care what happened in the previous games. Moving forward, we had to figure ourselves out, look ourselves in the mirror. I start with myself, and I made it clear to the guys that we will make it.
I want to go shopping with Russell Westbrook. Stephen A., what does this mean for Westbrook's reputation, what he pulled off?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I mean, is this a trick question? Are y'all kidding me?
No.
This is Russell Westbrook that we're talking about here. 22, 11, and 11 he's averaged on the season. Another triple-double. The dude, how many times have I had to say it? The most athletic point guard in the history of basketball, a surefire future Hall of Famer, first ballot as far as I'm concerned. And we're celebrating him making it to the playoffs. I would remind Russell Westbrook and anybody else that wants to support his position that at the time that people were down on them, it would have something to do with the fact that they were the 13th seed in the Eastern Conference and 15 games below 500. That might have something to do with why people had doubts, okay? I'm just saying, all right? Now, credit to him, to Scott Brooks, to their young squad with some talent on there, and of course, Bradley Beal, for them doing what they did going at 17-6 to close out the season and getting themselves in position to make the playoffs, and then showing up last night and making a lie out of me, because I thought the Indiana Pacers would be a hell of a lot better than that. But Russell Westbrook has destroyed them this season, and more power to him. He did it again last night as far as I'm concerned. Here's the thing. Russell Westbrook, everybody talks about the Wizards like there's this team that's never been in the playoffs. Prior to the last two seasons when they were ravaged by injury, particularly to John Wall, the Washington Wizards had made the playoffs 4 times in 5 years. They had gone to Game 7 of an Eastern Conference semifinals against Boston. It wasn't like they were off the radar or something like that. Now, Russell Westbrook's arrival definitely has elevated them, and we appreciate that. But when it comes to Russell Westbrook, excuse me, y'all, I've seen this guy in 4 conference finals. I've seen this guy in the NBA finals. But since Kevin Durant has departed from Oklahoma City, Russell Westbrook has been out of the first round in 3 of the 4 years. And last year he went to the semifinals. He had COVID and all of that other stuff, playing with James Harden in Houston, and you know, was a man amongst boys. He gave it all he had, but they couldn't beat LeBron and the Lakers. But 3 of the last 4 years he's been out in the first round, and this year's gonna make 4 of 5 years that he going home in the first round because they ain't beat Philly. So y'all go ahead and celebrate all you want to. I want to see Russell Westbrook playing, competing for championships. And we know that the Washington Wizards have no chance of doing that.
That's right. They don't. And by the way, they almost didn't have any chance of making the playoffs, Stephen A. The number I saw was in April at some point, it was a 0.6% chance. A 1 in 200 shot almost, under 1% chance of making the playoffs. And Russell Westbrook basically told his team, I'm going to get us there. And he did. That helps. Does it erase every bad thing that's ever happened in his career in the playoffs? Of course not. But it's another little piece of evidence. It helps. And by the way, you know how many point guards have ever been the best player? Let's just take the recent years on a championship team. Almost none. You could say Steph Curry, but let me amend that. You know how many point guards have been the best player on a championship team where it wasn't due to injury? Right? Steph Curry was the best player on his team, didn't win Finals MVP, but was the best player on his team when they won the championship because LeBron had 2 guys hurt, Kyrie and Kevin Love hurt. Who's that? Has James Harden been the best player on a championship team? Has CP3 been the best player on a championship team? Why is Russell Westbrook getting killed? Oh, well, because he had Kevin Durant. He hasn't really even proved that he could be the second best player on a championship team. And that's fair criticism. We got to admit what's fair. But it's also fair to point out that this dude seems to have a will to win that carried his team, that looked dead in the water to the playoffs. Stephen A., let's not forget, he came out uninspired last game, the game before this. And I was even shocked by it, like no intensity from Westbrook. And he was playing a Pacers team that seemed to be playing very good basketball, inspired basketball. They beat a team in Charlotte that had the same energy Westbrook did last time out. That's why you like the Pacers. That's why people are picking the Pacers. But when it was win or go home, Russell Westbrook showed up, and to pretend that didn't happen, that doesn't help his reputation is ridiculous. It occurred, of course it helped.
No. It's not about being ridiculous. It's about people like you being shameful. And here's why. Because you're the guy that feeds that kind of mentality where he's allowed to sit around and act like people are hating on him. That is not true. When has Russell Westbrook been hated on over the last 4 years? When Kevin Durant departed from OKC, we blamed Kevin Durant. How do you go from a Game 7 in a conference finals to sitting up there saying basically you can't win with this guy? How do you do that? We pointed the finger at Kevin Durant. We pointed the finger at Kevin Durant, leaving him high and dry and leaving him to absorb whatever level of little criticism was thrown in his direction when people were looking at his point guard play. We raved about the triple-double. He was voted a league MVP. We've recognized his greatness. We've talked about him being one of the most athletic point guard in NBA history and how great he is. And then somehow, some way, because somebody reminds him of that greatness and talks about how we want to see this greatness when it really, really matters, deep into the playoffs at the very least. You got LeBron hugging them on the court and then tweeting about how, you know what, the haters out there can hate. Who the hell has been hating on Russell Westbrook? Nobody has. The fact of the matter is we all have appreciated his greatness. The fact that he goes 100 miles an hour, he never cheats you with effort. He steps on the court. He goes after everybody. He makes no friends for the opposite uniform. He goes after them like a piranha. We all know that about him. So this stuff about people hating on him, no, you're reminding him, yo, bro, you are here. You're that elite. We want to see you when it really, really matters. We don't want to see you squeezing into the playoffs, fighting for a 10th seed or an 8th seed, and then you go home in the first round. There's nothing wrong with that. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.